Good day and a very welcome from my side. My name is Martin Heinz. I'm the CEO of iTAC Software AG, and I'm very delighted to welcome you today on our first Smart Factory Summit 2025. So what does it mean we? You see it on the top side. Me means iTAC together with the sub-brands Dualis, Cogiscan, and Axevo. So we prepared for you today a agenda with a lot of different points to address the current needs. And you saw it already in the invitation. So starting with a short introduction and welcome round, and then starting directly into a topic of GenAI, then going forward with optimization production, and all the different, let me say, topics and presentations are related to production and to face the question how we are able to overcome challenges, how we are able to overcome pain points. And it's not the aim today to have a kind of a function and features presentation. It's really coming from a use case and to present and explain where we are and what are, from our perspective, the different options to go forward exactly in this matter. So going forward with the introduction. So I'd like to highlight as well that we as iTAC and all the sub-brands are belonging to the Dürr Group. So that means we are part of the Dürr Group. Maybe some of you already know Dürr Group. It's a large organization, more than 20,000 people acting all around the world. And the focus of Dürr is mechanical and plant engineering. And there's a quite strong focus on automation and for sure as well digitalization. And that's the reason why I'm here. And let me say the production portfolio out of our iTAC units, they are part as well of the whole offering of the Dürr Group. So what does it mean if I am talking about iTAC units and sub-brands? You see here, we are acting as experts with a strong competence in digitalization into the manufacturing area. For sure, different companies addressing different, let me say, main topics, different areas. Starting from the left side, looking shortly to iTAC Software AG. So the main target on the iTAC side is MES and MOM. And in addition, since 2 or 3 years, we have as well a solution portfolio if it comes to manufacturing analytics. So the focus on the iTAC side is pretty much focusing on discrete manufacturing. So different industry sectors are related to discrete manufacturing. That means automotive, industrial, and all the different things you see there. And iTAC is a global acting company. And on the right-hand side, you see as well, iTAC is as well located in China. So that's our own team located in China, Chinese people, to be able to act as experts as well into the Chinese market and in the rest of Asia, with the same focus than the iTAC IG. So, and that's belonging all together as a, let me say, solution delivery. So together with us, we are acting together with Dualis. That's a daughter company of iTAC. Dualis is focusing on production planning, means advanced planning and scheduling, and factory simulation. That means process simulation and material flow simulation. And for sure, if you take a look at this kind of a product, then it's related to the discrete manufacturing as well. But there's as well some overlap if it comes to process manufacturing. So you see as well focused on industrial areas, metal fabrication, injection molding is a quite huge footprint, automotive as well, electronics, and as well machinery. And last but not least as well, we are as well in on Dualis side in the food area. So Cogiscan, the colleagues from Cogiscan, they are located in Canada, are pretty much focusing on electronics production, which comes from the SMT production, but as well the production steps after the SMT. So there's a quite huge footprint on connectivity, on different functionalities. And together with iTAC, there's as well a common solution portfolio if it comes to integration of SMT and electronic production. And the same way, we have as well a joint portfolio together with Dualis, combining the Dualis portfolio with the iTAC portfolio. It means APS and MOM as a common solution. And on the right-hand side, so that means the newest member, so to say, into our organization. It's the company Axevo. Axevo is located in Poland. Addressing from a, let me say, overall perspective, more or less the same topics. It's as well related to MOM, related to MAS, but the market is a little bit different. So Axevo is as well able to go into the fast-moving consumer goods market. Is a little bit different to a, let me say, origin discrete manufacturing. They are as well in tobacco, pharma, automotive, and as well in defense. So, and you see as well, right, we are acting as a company, and that's why we are here to present our portfolio and to show which kind of functionality and solution we are able to provide for this specific market to address different challenges and pain points. So why we are able to do that? I do not like to shock you, right? Only a few information. And you see here, iTAC is already founded in 1998. So that means over 20 years experience. We are more than 140 people acting all over the world. So that's a quite large footprint on the iTAC side. As well together with Dualis, more than 30 years experience in planning solution, and as well in simulation. So as well a quite footprint as well on that hand side. So looking to Kochiscan as well, founded 1999. So more than 20 years experience in everything which is ongoing in manufacturing on electronic side, with a quite large footprint in different connectivities, data management, as well as traceability. So this will as well fine organized on that hand side. And last but not least, the company Axevo, which was former named ANT, founded in 2006. So that means roughly 20 years experience. So that's the reason why we are here. We have more than 20 years experience in all the different companies, a lot of experts in our organizations, a lot of customers we have. And the aim for the day is to show you the challenges we see in the current market situation. So the companies are facing with sustainability, question about flexibility because changing in the market demands is changing, and as well the situation from a, let me say, geopolitical situation. There as well some changes which leads to a flexibility at the end, which comes over to supply chain management, product quality. All the different things are needed to address as well at the end at point 7 into a kind of digital solution. So, and that's the reason why we came to the conclusion to go into a kind of a summit, because based on the knowledge we have and based on the experience on our solutions, we like to show you how to master the challenges in production, the different points we like to address on. So how to overcome the pain points which are demanding more and more, and how we are able to support a different strategy to be successful at the end. So, and therefore there are for sure different products and solution already in the market, already defined from MOM to APS, AI, IoT, emulation and simulation. And that's exactly what's behind the agenda, right? To give you an overview concerning a use case, a situation, and then explain how we would be able to solve this kind of a pain point, or how to drive a factor to be successful at the end. So that's the short introduction, and then I'd like to go to the next before we hand over to Andreas to the first topic, so to say. I'd like to give you the information. So what we are doing is we are planning as well to having a 5-minute Q&A session after each presentation. The chat functionality is deactivated, but nevertheless, there's a button in place which is defined as a Q&A button. You can use the Q&A button, and then we can use your questions directly after the presentation and to start answering. And if we have not enough time to answer each of the questions, then we put it into our backlog and answer that afterwards, so that you have further information afterwards. So then I'd like to thank you for listening and thank you for your participation. And I'm delighted to take over to Andreas. Andreas, it's your turn.
Oops. You can understand me of, yeah, just short indication, Martin?
Yes, I can understand.
Oh, perfect. So welcome everybody. Intention for this part of the presentation is to give you an insight into GenAI, which gives you information about production processes, preventing downtime and optimizing throughput. I would like to address some challenges that we want to cover, give you short insight into GenAI. Of course, what does it have to do with our iTAC.MOM.Suite? Give you two examples, including one real-world example showcase or example in the description how it works or should work, some measurable impacts, and also a roadmap and vision about the progress, what we are going to do as iTAC Group. So let's directly start with our introduction. Typical things that we have in our production environment is that machine downtimes cause significant productivity loss. There's nothing new to all of us, but it's a typical showcase where GenAI can help us. So what is an issue? Why a downtime causes significant loss? Sometimes it's not clear what the reason of this downtime is. So maintenance operators especially are driving root cause analytics based on their knowledge. And the longer these operators are in place and the more knowledge they have, the faster they can solve these issues. Very often they do things and document it in a very short way. So in terms of troubleshooting, if someone else is new to the topic and has to solve a similar issue, he has to run through the same analytics as someone who is experienced. So it's time consuming, and finding issues is also error prone. So sometimes it's try and error until the production line is again up and running. An additional thing, also not new, but I think it's also a very important topic, especially in finding root causes, is that the data from machine systems connected to the production systems, also human information, is uploaded and stored in data silos. Information is not really connected, and that makes it quite hard to analyze what is going on. And it's more a reactive process than a predictive or process that prevents things. Means, as a result, it's very often an inefficient process. It's rising costs and it's causing unplanned delays and also very long delays. GenAI is something that can help us in the manufacturing to make very complex things a little bit easier to understand using natural language tools and interfaces. First of all, it's important that GenAI does not do something magic. We need to understand what GenAI has to analyze, and we need to generate a context. So the most important thing is to contextualize what is available so that GenAI can use this, let's say, unstructured data to get content out of it, and so that people can ask questions, as you know this from ChatGPT or Copilot or something similar tools. Typical things that we use already in our environment is documentation. For example, technical manuals can be used to train GenAI. Log files, station logs can be used. Standard operating procedures can be used, which describe how specific processes in the shop floor need to be executed, including also information about tooling, how to set it up, how to use it, how often it may be used until it is to be maintained. All this kind of stuff then leads also into production records. For example, in a discrete serialized production, we know exactly what is being done on which machine, by which operator, with which skill set, and so on. All the parameters, humidity, temperature around, pressures of a machine can be uploaded and can be used for training, of course. And the result should be that we ask a question and GenAI gives you the answers, explaining root cause and guide you through the troubleshooting. Key features are definitely conversational interfaces, typically by text, or can be also included with voice commands. and gives you fast document retrieval and summarization of the issue that you have. And if you want to have it more precise, you can ask for it, and it goes deeper and deeper into the analytics and gives you more insights. Very important is that it is also combined with continuous learning from real-time input. That means that during the time, the knowledge base increases and the trained data increases, and the quality of the answers is getting better and better. iTAC MES and iTAC.MOM.Suite, for all the colleagues that know the product quite well, this is for us the foundation of real-time or near real-time inside production control, track and trace. And from the MOM platform side, we have two different product approaches. The first is iTAC.MA.Suite. MA stands for Manufacturing Analytics, which is, from our point of view, the entry solution that helps us to get data very fast from the production and produce value very soon in terms of fast analytics, providing dashboards with important KPIs. So a project can be driven very, very fast in comparison to an MES MOM project, which is, from our point of view, very, very important in terms of production control. So this is, I named it the digital nervous system of the smart factory. When you want to enable a smart factory, you need special features for interlocking, for avoiding issues, and the MOM.Suite comes with exactly these features. So in total, with our MOM platform, we integrate production data in real time, near real time, of different dimensions. And the dimension is, for example, machine, equipment, material, processes, process data, operator information, maintenance information, so that you get transparent production overview, also including the quality information, quality processes. Speaking about modules, typical things that we do there is traceability, production management, so looking a little bit into the direction of KPIs, and quality management to check where are the main issues, what are the main root causes, and maybe to do then analytics to avoid them upfront. Maintenance of equipment, machines is one important part of it. And of course, analytics, either in terms of dashboards, reporting, but also in terms of near real-time SCADA dashboards. And the most important thing, of course, is connectivity to every device, to every machine, also including human-machine interfaces and more. And this is for us the ideal foundation to do, in general, AI-driven services and also AI-driven decision. As I said, let's have a look at two use cases. Use case number one, Ask Our Doc, which is a product which is part of iTAC.MA.Suite, is typically a feature with which operators get the tool to use documentation, to use any kind of information that is uploaded in the training process and analyzed. And the goal is definitely to get an accurate answer for the operator based on a technical question. Elements that we use, as I said before, machine documentation, standard operating procedures, work instructions, but also additional documents can be used like error code manuals, historic service logs, and then the natural language interface gives you the option to ask a question similar to, what should I do if the soldering station temperature fluctuates? And I did it on basis of the documentation that we have already. You see it on the right-hand side in this small box. So the system checks, browses all the documents that we have. It checks available documentation and gives you some steps to handle exactly this temperature fluctuation. So it's an option to use it to reduce the downtime, because this is a hint where you can solve something. And it empowers people, especially maintenance operators that are less experienced, so they can ask questions and find hints without browsing thousands of pages in PDFs. So it's much faster to find the right information. And it shortens, of course, also onboarding times. And we have a centralized knowledge database, which combines nearly everything. A second use case is the manufacturing analytics use case. It's also based, of course, on a kind of documentation which is available, but we have to add additional things. The main purpose here in my example in this use case is detecting a root cause and acting then before something happens in the shop floor. So to get data from the shop floor, facilitate this data, and to have actionable insights. Typical data is information coming from the machine directly. So every machine activity, every process information, either directly from the machine, from the conveyor, from the sensors. So typically the data that we collect in iTAC.MOM.Suite can be used to get this contextual information that then is used by GenAI to analyze and explain trends, anomalies, and root causes. So similar dialogue, you have this special interface similar to ChatGPT or to Copilot, and you are allowed or you're able then to ask questions. Question examples are, why was OEE below 70% last week? Or which line had the most rejects and why? Predict next likely bottleneck for line number 2. So these are typical questions that you could also get by reports, dashboards, but then you need exactly to know what is the location, what is the URL, what is the dialog that I have to open, what is the report that I have to open. And manufacturing analytics will, in the future, assist you exactly here. So you do not necessarily have to open that dashboard, that report. You can ask in the future the system and you will get the answer. So the benefit definitely is a better and immediate insight in what is currently going on for planners, supervisors, and the time for decision is much faster because you ask the question and you get the answer. And definitely something to improve the process in terms of quality and also throughput. And there's also a possibility to improve the database, of course, to get more and more content into the system, because it's not only that the machine, the sensors, and passive systems feed our system. Also, people that are using this application need to feed the system. So when you have, for example, a downtime, and at the beginning, it's not clear enough maybe what was the root cause, then operators very often have to key in the details. What was the message before? What was maybe a side effect that led exactly to this downtime? And you can improve the database to get more and better information from the system. So in general, using use case 1 and use case 2 manufacturing analytics and our Ask Our Doc is that you turn your reactive teams that react on issues or on bad KPIs into proactive ones, so that you can do something upfront before it really appears. And I think this is a very important and good message. So in terms, just to see what one example could look like, just as a walkthrough, similar as I said in use case number 2, a problem could be we have a throughput on production line 7 dropped by 12% over the last 3 days. And the production manager is now asking simply in our Ask Our Doc interface, why is throughput on line 7 declining? Typical way how that would be processed is that GenAI will analyze what is going on with the contextual information coming from documentation, from the machine, documentation from the shop floor, coming from the MOM context, and put it together. With this information, it detects maybe in this case that there was a gradual cycle time increase in the pick and place unit. So we needed simply more time in the pick and place unit for picking and placing components. And it checks all available information in parallel. So cross-reference historical logs, for example, can be validated, and then it finds a correlation and an equipment issue. Maybe the equipment has been used and there's still some time left for maintenance, but due to the fact that the cycle time is increasing, the result could be that it needs to be exchanged by an already maintained equipment, and then the cycle time decreases again enormously, or is in a way that is acceptable again. So the GenAI gives you information about all the correlations, all the big information that is in the database, and gives you then in this way information how to solve issues. And additionally, it can also alert maintenance operators before this issue appears, or even the production line fails. So as a result, the issue can be resolved using GenAI proactively, more proactive as before. It can avoid a full stop of production line because it can alert people before we have an issue. You can save the potential downtime of maybe several hours. And definitely, and this is, I think, very important, it will improve the team's trust into systems, digital production systems that are in place. So it's not only collecting information, it's also helping them during their daily process, doing, for example, operations in maintenance area. When we look at the business impacts, typical KPIs and ROI questions appear. So what we could expect? Definitely downtime reduced. We will not quit it, or we will not get it down to zero. We will always have side effects, but it's definitely reducing downtime. Operators, first level support, resolution rate will be much higher, much easier for them because they have a knowledge base that they can use. Meantime to repair resolution is radically reduced. And the backlog in terms of knowledge backlog that needs to be processed and maintained somewhere can be eliminated. And the ramp up for people that are completely new to the production process and maintenance area can be cut enormously. Let's have a look at the vision and the roadmap. We as iTAC Group are evolving towards a fully integrated intelligent MOM platform. That means that we have the goal to couple the solutions from all software components that we have in our group, from Dualis, iTAC, myself, Axevo, Cochixen, and DXQ Control, so that with a unified data model and semantic layer, we can share information that makes it easier to understand what is going on and exchange it and use it in GenAI. So that we get an end-to-end process from planning to execution and, of course, to analytics to improve the process quality. And the contextual AI will then use all the data that we receive exactly from these areas. That means planning, maintenance, execution, quality, and put it into, as I said, into context so that questions can be asked and the right answer can be expected. But of course, also in terms of personalization, it's important to know that people have certain roles, locations, and tasks, so not everyone is allowed to do the same thing. So these are things that we need to look at in the future. Feedback loop for model refinement is also important in terms of how do we improve models. We definitely need people that do user confirmations, that do capturing of additional information, especially when something happens that has not been expected. So it is a continuous improvement going on, but the benefit is this improvement, this tool set can be used based on our contextual database without training at the beginning. We can start from scratch with context information. And this is all something that we are scheduling for end of this year. So to finally sum it up, what are the key takeaways? GenAI turns definitely everything that we have into instant knowledge, documentation, database, content, and so on. And the manufacturing analytics suite and MOM.Suite are the enablers to drive into this direction, data transparency, and of course, control. Ask Our Doc and manufacturing analytics will help you to be proactive in the future so that we have less downtime, more throughput, and definitely better decision. So ask our doc extension will come soon, and I'm happy to answer your questions.